Good morning. Good morning. Yes, I'm on here again. Sunday morning coffee. You see, I'm all bundled up, man. Here in the wintertime, my studio here gets so damn cold at night. So damn cold at night. I don't know why. I know we talked about that yesterday, but that's why I'm all bundled up in my hoodie and shit. It gets so cold. And if I turn the heater on too high, it'll heat up some of the other rooms quicker than it does the other ones. So I don't want to roast anybody out. I'll just sit here cold. Anyway, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Got me a good old night's sleep. Been doing me some energy work this morning. Man, what y'all think of that full moon though, man? Whew. Oh, see, and I know we talked about this yesterday, and what I saw said it was going to be on the 19th. And even if it is tonight, last night was still really intense. Still really intense. I had to do me some massive, massive energy work last night. Massive. It was really intense. But it's cool because I'm starting to learn some fun things. I'm starting to learn some fun little energy tools, you know? And it'll just blow your mind how simple this shit is, man. It'll really blow your mind how simple your creative abilities are, you know? And I think now that I'm getting more and more accustomed to doing this, I'm going to start using this for Mercury retrogrades too, because it helped me last night. Okay, but check this out. Some of you may already know of this. There's some things that I learned that, like on my path, I've learned that there's some things that I've learned that everybody acts like, well, duh, you didn't know that. And then the opposite. There's some things that I think are common sense that nobody else knows. Well, anyway, here's my thing. Whenever I'm feeling really energetically bogged down, really, just my vibe sucks. And you just, those days when you feel like shit. The first thing that I do is I say, I'm not claiming this energy. I got to say this, sometimes even out loud, but in my head, very, very clearly, I do not claim this energy. This is not my energy. I have no use for it. And I have to say that over and over and over. I do not claim this energy. This is not my energy. I'm returning it back to wherever it came from with love and light. This is not my energy. And then here's the cool part. Here's the cool part. And it blows my mind how easy this works. I wish I would have known this or believed this years ago. I'll start saying to myself, I am so happy. I'm so excited. I'm so energetic. I'm so pumped up. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. And I'll just say that 20, 30, 50, 100 times. And then after I just kind of feel like I'm running around in circles, I'll just release it and let it go. And then that heavy bogged down energy goes away. And I start feeling happy and I start feeling excited. It's so weird. It's so bizarre, dude. I'm like, dude, does it really work that way? Man, dude, I'm telling you. But it's real hard. It's real hard to get into the habit of doing that. It's really hard. And Leah made a good point too. She said, I think it's because we're so programmed to express how we feel. Because if you're feeling bad, the first thing you start saying to yourself is, I'm angry, I'm pissed off, and I'm irritated. You start saying that. And that reinforces it and makes it stronger. I'm irritated, I'm pissed off, I'm mad, I'm angry. And that just reinforces and reinforces and reinforces that until you feel like complete and total shit. And it's really hard and it's really uncomfortable and it feels really weird when you are feeling that way to jam a stick in that wheel and start fighting that energy. I'm so happy, I'm so excited, I'm so pumped up, I feel so good. And just repeating that over and over and over, dude, you will feel a legit change in your energy. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Oh yeah, yeah. We got to become aware of our thoughts, man. We got to become aware of our thoughts. That's very important. I think arguably that's one of the most important things that you can learn how to do in today's day and age. One of the most important things you can learn how to do in today's day and age is be mindful of your thoughts. You know how many people out there like myself at one point in time who are just a fish in water. And what I mean when I say that is, could you imagine trying to explain water to a fish? You know, the fish would be like, what water? What's water? What are you talking about? You know, that's what I mean. And trying to get people to understand, how you have to be mindful of your thoughts. There's some people out there that are like a fish in water. They think they are their thoughts. That voice in there that runs the show, they think that's them. And I remember many, many years, functioning the same way. And I think that's some of the most important shit you can start learning in today's day and age, man. I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, no. You know what's funny though? You say it's hard when someone's trying to upset you. You know what I think is funny? It becomes kind of fun. Well, first of all, you have to figure out how to not let them do it. You have to figure out how to not let them do it. And that can be tricky. That can be tough. But once you figure that out, it gets kind of addictive. Once you figure out how to successfully not let somebody upset you, because at the end of the day, it's not them upsetting you at the end of the day. And this is the hard part to figure out. It takes some going inside and really, really figuring yourself out. But what you end up figuring out is that it's not them upsetting you, it's you upsetting yourself, you know? And once you go in there and you figure out how to successfully not let them get to you like that, it's funny because they get mad. They get mad. Oh man, it makes them mad. Oh, it makes them mad. Nothing irritates a toxic person more than trying to piss you off and trying to bring you down to their level and not being successful. You know, there's nothing that pisses a toxic person off more than that. Like we were saying the other day, excuse me, like we were saying the other day, misery needs company. It needs company in order to validate its existence, you know, because if misery doesn't have any company and it's surrounded by nothing but happiness, then it's not validated. Misery needs other misery to validate its existence. Without validation, there is no reason for misery and anger and sadness. That's why miserable, angry, toxic people try to make everybody else miserable and angry. That's why they do that. That's why they do that, because they want to feel like their feelings are validated. Nobody wants to feel like their feelings are invalid. Nobody wants that. But if you want to get up out of that energy, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't like that energy. I don't like how it feels. I don't enjoy it. I don't understand for the life of me how people get addicted to that kind of energy, but they do. They do. And that doesn't make any sense to me because I don't like it. It feels uncomfortable. I hate it. I don't like being angry. I don't like being annoyed. I don't like being irritated. I don't like being pissed off. It just feels like, I hate it. I hate it. But anyway, though, anywho, do I find it interesting when I pick up on somebody's energy? No, I don't find it interesting. I find it annoying. I don't want to pick up on nobody's energy, man. I don't like that. That happens everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. Walk through a building, I pick up on everybody's energy around me, and it's annoying. I've been working on shielding. That's one thing that the long-term humans are really good at. Is shielding themselves from that shit. It's part of this game. It's part of this 3D game. But a lot of us who come in here brand new and we're not really accustomed to this game. We haven't played it very many times. We don't have those mechanisms in place. And that's what people refer to as an empath. Okay. Being an empath is not a special gift. Being an empath is is you're not very familiar with this 3D game and you don't know how to shield yourself. Because we are all empathic beings. Every human being on this planet is an empathic being. The difference is we have a lot of long-term karmic humans who have been coming and playing this game more times than you could even fathom. And they figured out how to build up those shields and those energetic defense mechanisms because they've just been playing this fucking 3D game for so many fucking millions, who knows how many lifetimes, dude. They're addicted to this game, and where you get an empath is when you have a new being that came here from some other galaxy or some other star system or maybe some other totally different creation altogether, and came in here to help raise the frequencies of the planet and doesn't really understand how this game works and doesn't have any of those mechanisms in place, That's one of the things that kind of sucks about being new here at this game. You got to learn all this fucking shit in this lifetime, or else you're just gonna have a really shitty experience here that's not very fun. You know, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Yeah, right there with you. Right there with you. Oh. What do I do for shielding? Man, I don't even know how to put words behind that. I don't even know how to put words behind what I do for shielding. I don't really have any English words. I don't even really have any English words for how I do that. I'll think about that though. I'll think to see if I can explain it. But I don't have any verbal explanations as to how I do it. One thing that I'm not really big on is following a textbook. You know, I'm not really big on following a textbook, but a lot of people are. So it is helpful to try to figure out how to explain things. But at the end of the day, I think, you know what we need to figure out how to do? We need to figure out how to teach people to trust themselves. We need to figure out how to teach. And I think that's my goal. That's if there was one fucking thing that I could do, I would want to teach people how to trust themselves, so that you don't have to come to somebody like me or somebody else who's a spiritual public figure to basically get permission to do it a certain way. You are powerful and creative enough to do anything that you want, however you want, whatever works, But we do here in this game have this thing where one person figures out how to do something and then they explain it. And then somebody comes to them for help and they explain their way. And then they do what they can to replicate that person's way when they don't even have to do it that way. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But since that's kind of the way things are running right now, we don't have very much else to go on. But trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. You are no more or less powerful and creative than the next person. You're no more or less powerful and creative than me or anybody else out there. But to answer that question more directly, sometimes I suck at shielding. Like today, for example, is a good example. I don't know what the plan is for today, but it's not out of the realm of possibility for us to go downtown for something. Usually, more often than not, if we're going downtown, we do it on the weekends. Be like, all right, let's go eat at this restaurant. Where's that at? On the Strip. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. Got to prepare myself for that. And then I'll sit around like, oh, fuck, we got to go downtown. Oh, we got to go downtown. For those of you who have never been to Vegas, man, downtown, whoo, man, you talk about an empath's worst fucking nightmare, the fucking Las Vegas Strip, dude. Whew. You talk about sucking the life force energy right out of you. You go, you walk down the Strip for 30 minutes and you're like, hang on for a second. My light just tipped over there. Hang on. Oh. All right. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, sometimes like I find it kind of annoying. I don't like it. I find it annoying. I don't like it at all, dude. Anyway, I'm figuring it out. Like I said, I always look at situations like that as spiritual fitness. Just like the full moon, it's like spiritual fitness. It's like doing spiritual push-ups and strengthening, your energy and strengthening any time that you're faced with a challenge, that is an opportunity for you to grow stronger. So that's pretty much what I do it for. If any of y'all ever see me walking around on the Strip, that's more than likely what I'm doing. If that's another reason why I'm quiet. Another reason why I'm quiet. I know I talk about this a lot, but in real life, I'm quiet. For those of you who have never heard me say that, in real life, I'm really fucking quiet. I'm really reserved. I'm super, super, super to myself. I'm not social in real life. I'm not. I just got to be all the way real about that. I'm not a social butterfly. If you see me, please, and you want to talk to me, please tell me that you know who I am. Because if you don't, I might be rude. I'm not trying to. I'm just don't like talking to people I don't know. But anyway, Yeah, that's more than likely what I'm doing. If you see me walking around in public, and I'm being all quiet, I'm more than likely in my head trying to figure out, all right, how do I shield myself from this shit? How do I cleanse myself? I'm doing that kind of shit all the time, dude. That's like all that ever, if I'm out in public, that's all that's running through my head. It's all that's running through my head. There's too much energy out here. How do I fucking get this shit off me? I don't like it, man. That's the crazy thing. That's the weird, funny, fucked up thing about a lot. I can't say all, but a lot of light workers. The funny thing about it is that their mission was to come be around as many people as possible. And the funny thing about it is that most true, genuine light worker empaths, or whatever you want to call them, don't like people. Don't like people, and they're very confined and to themselves and want to be away from everybody. But that's not your job. If you're here and you know that you're a light worker and you know that you're carrying a frequency and you know what your mission is, you ain't supposed to be all by yourself. No, you're supposed to go be around as many people as possible and carry that energy to as many places as you possibly can. That's your job, you know? Mm-hmm. That's your job. And it's not a fun job, is it? It's not a fun job. I'm pretty sure that I successfully do it better like this, you know? I think I successfully do it because this is still an energy transfer. This is still an energy transfer. This is easy. It's easier for me to deal with it this way, I guess. Because right now we got 52 people watching, and I feel totally relaxed, totally calm, totally cool, totally myself. But if I was in a room with 52 fucking people, I'd be like, ugh, I'd be like, ugh. I don't like it, I don't like it. So I think this is a much easier way for me to do my job, Me personally, I don't know. But I do still take every time I can tell the universe is pushing me to go be around people, I do it. I'm working on it, I'm working on it. Yeah, I think most of us. I don't know. I mean, I try not to use blanket statements like this because I know that every one of our paths is unique and every single light worker here has a different mission and it's all different. But I don't think I've ever met a true, genuine, legit starseed or light worker, whatever you want to call them, that enjoys being around people. I don't think I have. I don't think I have. That's the biggest difference between me and my youngest daughter, my little twin. She's not a light worker. She's a prism child. She came in here built for the new world. I think built for it. She doesn't meet a stranger. When I was a kid, I hated people. And it sounds horrible. It sounds so horrible, but I've been antisocial my whole life, my whole life, my whole entire life. I've been antisocial since as far back as I can remember. I can't ever remember a time where I wanted to go out and meet people and make friends. Not really. Now, during my path, when I was drinking very heavily, when I was drinking, I would enjoy being intermingling in large crowds if I was drinking and I couldn't feel the energetic influence. But even at that, I wasn't all that social. It was easier for me to be social when I was drinking, but for the most part, I still really wasn't. Does that make sense? I don't know, man. Whatever. Whatevs. Appreciate the positive feedback, Adriana. Thank you. Yeah. For me, you know what I've been doing here for the past year? I think 2021 is the first time I've ever noticed myself doing this ever. I used to take naps in the middle of the day. I used to take naps. That's nothing new. Nothing new. I love me a little cat nap. But for some reason, this past year, I can't nap. My body, my brain won't go to sleep. I'll go into a meditative state. I don't know if you all know what a true meditative state is, but let me put it to you like this. Every last one of you goes into a transcendental meditative state twice a day. Everybody does. Everybody on this planet. And that's right before you fall asleep and right before you wake up. Okay? You know, that space that you're lingering in right before you fall asleep, that is a meditative state. Okay. Meditation is conscious sleep. Sleep is unconscious meditation. Okay. Now, for this past year, I can't, very rarely, on a lucky day, I'll fall asleep and take a nap. But 95% of the time, in the middle of the day, I'll lay down and go into a meditative state right before I fall asleep, but I'm still consciously aware of what goes on around me. I'm still totally consciously aware that I'm laying down, and that I'm in a room, but that other part of my brain is still halfway in dream world. And I'll stay in that state for 30 to 45 minutes. And then when I pop out of it, dude, when I pop out of that, I feel 10 times more energized than any nap could ever make me. And it's so weird. So weird. I want a nap. I don't want to, I'm not trying to meditate. I'm trying to take a nap. When I feel all groggy and my energy is all bogged down, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get me a nap. Anymore, I don't even say that. I just say I'm gonna go meditate, because that's what happens. I'm trying to fall asleep, but I can't. I'll just lay there and put my earbuds in, listen to a video or some sound waves or something. And used to, I would just crash out and go straight to sleep for an hour or two. Now, go into a meditative state for 45 minutes and snap up, fucking energized. Like, it's bizarre, man. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know. It's bizarre. Taking a meditation type nap. Okay. Yeah, that's what's happening. Now, you all know that I have gone to school and attended schooling and it's special schooling for energy and manifestation and things like that. And one of the very first classes that I took was meditation. Okay, real, true, legitimate, ancient meditation techniques. I've never heard anybody, on YouTube or anybody, I've never heard anybody share these techniques. But long story short, yes, when you get into a true transcendental meditative state, you want to do it while sitting up when you're practicing. Because if you lay down, you'll fall asleep. Because you have to figure out how to get into that state that's right before you fall asleep. You're almost asleep, but you're still consciously aware of the room around you. And you're still consciously aware of your body and that you're laying down, and you're still aware of your surroundings. But it's right before you fall asleep. And it was always really difficult, really hard. Now, half the time, I can't fall asleep. I only meditate. I only fall into that meditative state. And now it's to the point, it's so weird, where I can do it cruising down the road, not while I'm driving, but in the passenger seat. Like if Leah's driving, I feel kind of energetically bogged down, I can just kick my head back and go straight into a meditative state. It's weird, bizarre, man. And I just, 10, 15, 20 minutes in a meditative state, I feel like I just drank 2 cups of coffee. And I'm like, wow, it's crazy, man. It's weird. It's weird. It's just one of those things. There's some things on the evolutionary journey that you have to work on and practice. And then there's other things that I'm learning that just happen by default. And that was one thing that happened by default. That was never my goal. I never tried to learn how to meditate like that, but it just kind of came along with the package of all the other, teachings I've been practicing and things like that. It's just that now I meditate and I know I can literally be sitting. I could probably even do it. I've never tried this because it would look weird and bizarre, but I could probably do it in public. I could probably do it. I guarantee you, if I really wanted to, I could probably sit down on the Las Vegas Strip, up against the wall and tilt my head back and meditate. I probably could, like go into a true meditative state. It's weird, man. It's weird. It's super strange. I've thought about doing videos on meditation, but it's actually so simple. That's the thing. I mean, here's the thing, man. On the path, one of the things you'll start to understand is that all these things are so simple. They're so simple. We have just been brainwashed. We've been brainwashed into overcomplicating it. We've been brainwashed, all these belief systems and all these feelings and thoughts and opinions that just cloud it all up and overcomplicate everything. And yes, it's part of the 3D game. It's just part of the 3D human game. But dude, it's so simple. So simple. How do you meditate? That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You have to practice falling asleep and holding it there right before you lose consciousness. That's how you meditate. That is a true transcendental meditative state. And you'll notice too, you'll get so many information downloads. You'll get so many downloads. You'll have so many premonitions. You'll have so many realizations, and then the more you practice doing that, the more you can practice controlling your thoughts, because what you're doing, your brain is going into a theta state. It's going into a theta state. And basically that logical, analytical thinking part of your brain shuts off and the other part of your brain is awake, and your brain is in the theta state at that point. The theta state is right before you fall asleep. Okay. And your brain's like a sponge. Your subconscious mind is wide open. Your subconscious is wide open when you're in the theta state. That's where you will get all of your information downloads. That is where you will more than likely be able to tap into and channel spirit. That's when you're wide open to be able to channel. Channeling scares me though. That still scares the shit out of me. I haven't. Every now and then it randomly happens. Sometimes. Don't get your hopes up, y'all. But from time to time, it randomly happens. The spirit will like come straight through me during a reading. Like a personal reading, or really bizarre, crazy information will come through that I don't know where it's coming from. But it doesn't happen all the time. But during my general readings, I will say this. I will say that when I'm live, like on an all signs video or something like that, I do go into what I call the flow state. I go into what I call a flow state. And shit just starts coming out of my mouth that I don't even know where it comes from. Half the shit that, I don't know. I've been wondering that for several months now. I'll start humming this little tune or something. Or you know how if you watch me like during an all signs video, I'll just pop off with some weird, silly shit. I don't even know where it's coming from. I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. I'll go into this state of just flowing. It's the flow state. It's just straight up the flow state, And every now and then, I won't even be thinking about it until I'll hear Leah repeating something that I've said. And I'm like, where did you get that? Did you get that from me? She goes, yeah, you always do that. Because she'll be in the next room when I'm reading or whatever. And she'll be like, you always do that when you're live and you're doing your readings. And I'd be like, where did I even hear that? Like a little song. You know how I like hum my funny little tunes and I'll say little silly things. I'll be like, where did I even hear that from? And I'll be thinking to myself, where did that silly little phrase or that goofy little song that I'm singing or humming, where does that even come from? I don't even know. I don't even have a clue. It's pretty weird, man. Pretty weird. Oh yes, my ears are constantly ringing, constantly. They're ringing right now. I have a ring in my ear that never stops. Well, no, I can't say that. Sometimes it does stop. But that's rare. My ears are ringing like 95% of the time. 95% of the time. You know how some people say every now and then their ear starts ringing? I'm the opposite. Every now and then my ears stop ringing. See what I'm saying? It's been like that for fucking years. Like my whole life. I've had troubles hearing. I've had hearing problems my whole life. That's another thing too. Sometimes if you ever meet me in real life, I might have to ask you to repeat yourself. Be like, huh? Because there's just this ring in my ear, and sometimes it's hard for me to hear things. I don't know. It's weird. Hell yeah, you're magic. Everybody's magic. Everybody is. This is what we got to awaken people to understand, is every last one of you is very magical, very creative, and very powerful. Every last one of you. When I say every last one of you, I mean every last one of you. Every single person who has feet on the ground on this planet right now is very magical and very creative and very powerful. We have been brainwashed into believing that we're not. And that was part of the 3D human game. But the 3D experience is going bye-bye. It's going bye-bye. Adios. Deuces. It's going bye-bye. Okay? I promise you. It's going bye-bye. Kiss it bye-bye. Bye-bye 3D. That was a fun game. It was crazy. It was intense. I'm not playing it no more. I'm glad. I don't know about you. Whew. If I had to guess, I would assume that probably 90% of you who at least tune into this channel are more than likely starseed light workers. Probably 90% of you. Probably 90% of you. I could be totally wrong. I could be totally butchering that. I am sure that there's a small number of long-term humans who are awakening. I'm sure. I know I have a couple of obsessive stalkers who are very mentally unstable that watch all my videos just because they're fucked up in the head. I know there's a couple of you. And I know that there's some long-term humans, but I would feel very safe betting that the vast majority of those of you who watch me are starseed light workers. I feel very safe betting that. I don't know if there is a number. I've been hearing that 144,000. I've been hearing that for a while. I don't know if I'm not rejecting that, but I'm not necessarily accepting that either. I don't know. It's possible. If so, that probably would have been the first wave that came in. But there was an awful lot more in the first wave than 144,000. That's not very many people. That is a teeny weeny little. We got billions of people on this planet. You know what I mean? I don't know. I have been told. Let me just tell you like this. I'll just put it to you like this. I have been told that I am one of those 144,000. I've had somebody tell me that. And the person that told me that is a psychic. And I can vouch that this person is psychic because this person has made insanely accurate predictions on my life that I can vouch. I don't just say those things. I have met somebody who has made predictions for me that came true. Fucking freaked me out. And this person did tell me that I am one of the 144,000. I'm not going around claiming that though. I'm not here saying that. I'm not claiming that title. But I have been told that. I don't really care. I don't really give a shit. It's way too easy while we are still in human form, while we are still dismantling the 3D system, we do still operate an awful lot through our ego. We do. So it's really, really, really easy for our egos to take things like that and run. Okay. It's easy for somebody like me to get a big ego boost. Oh yeah, look at me. I'm so great. I'm so amazing. That's really easy. I want to avoid that. And it's really easy for people in your position to do the opposite, to think, oh, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. We want to avoid all that bullshit until we figure out how to get our egos in line with and on the same team as our spirit, that's the goal. I try to shy away from, I don't even really like using phrases like light worker and starseed. I just use that because it's a quick, easy way for you to understand what I'm talking about. But it's real super easy. Ooh, I just looked up and it was 3333. That's cool. It's real super easy for those ego mechanisms to start, flaring up. I'm better than, or I'm not as good as, I'm not worthy. That's all ego shit. It's all ego shit. I don't care if you think you're better than or if you think you're not as good as. That's still some ego bullshit that has to go. You know what I mean? Makes sense. So anyway, I don't like to perceive myself as a gifted human. I don't. Because that's another thing. That right there is another word that I don't like using because that implies that I'm better than. When you say somebody has a gift, that has connotations attached to it that I'm special, or I do something that you can't do. And that's bullshit. I'm not special. I am not better than you. I'm not just saying that to sound humble. There's some people that just say things to try to make themselves look so humble. I don't give two fucks if you think I'm humble or not. There's some people that think that I'm the most arrogant thing that ever walked the face of the earth. I don't give a fuck what you think. Okay. The truth of the matter is that I'm not better than you. I don't care if you think I'm humble or if you think I'm arrogant. I really don't give a fuck. I'm not better than you. I'm just not, you know? So that's why I don't like I don't like using that phrase gifted, because that comes automatically with connotations assigned to it that I'm better than you. And I'm not. Every last one of us has equal access to the universe. It's not a gift, it's a choice. It's a choice. The only difference between me and a lot of other people out there is that I was driven. I was driven. And when you're driven, just like anything else, if you're driven to do something, you are willing to put yourself through the discomfort. You know, I was willing to go through the discomfort of unwiring my brain and rewiring a new way of thinking. And it's uncomfortable. We all have the ability to do it. You have just as equal access to it as I do. It's just all a matter of slowly picking yourself apart. Just pick one little belief system, one little thought, one little belief system that you know gets in your way, and just focus on that. Okay. It's not a switch you're going to flip overnight. Okay. I'm still doing it. I'm still in the middle of it. I don't think it ever stops. I don't think it ever stops, ever. There is no destination. There is no arrival point. We got to get rid of that idea too. It's not like one of these days you're going to cross through the finish line and be like, I have arrived. I'm just as guilty. I'm just as guilty. I had that in my mind too. I had that in my mind. And I had the picture in my mind was what I would feel safe assuming is the same picture most people have in their minds. And that is, as soon as I'm successful, and as soon as I make a lot of money, and as soon as I'm in the perfect relationship, and as soon as I have a good career and have a nice big house and a brand new car and I'm in a perfect relationship, and then I have arrived, And I learned real quick, because then you get there and you're like, okay, now what? Now what? You don't, as much as you think you want this, you don't ever want to get to an arrival point. You don't ever want that. It doesn't even exist anyway. But if you try, I know there's at least one of you watching that doesn't believe me. And that's okay, because I understand. I didn't believe it either. I didn't believe it either when I was on my path. I was like, man, fuck that, whatever, man. One of these days, as soon as I'm making money and I'm in the perfect relationship, then I've arrived and I can kick my feet back and everything will be beef and gravy from that point forward. And I learned real quick that that is a complete and total illusion. You'll go nuts. You'll see. You'll see. It's not a matter of if, it's when. You'll see. You'll see. You'll end up there one day. You'll end up there one day where all the 3D problems don't exist anymore. They don't exist. You're not worried about money. That's not even a worry in your mind. You're not lonely and worried about whether or not you'll be in a relationship, which those are the two worries that cloud the mind of the average person on this planet. The average person on this planet, every single decision that they make in their life, there's two questions. Will I make money? Will I attract a lover? And those influence every decision that we make. Money and love or sex or whatever. What are you going to do when you're not worried about those things anymore? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You'll learn real quick. You don't just want to sit around and not do nothing. Now what? Where's the next mountain I can climb? Where's the next mountain? What now? That's where I'm at with my fitness too. And I'm kind of scared a little bit, honestly. I'm kind of scared. This is one thing I don't think I've touched on here. With my fitness, y'all know I've been into fitness and wellness I'm going on my second year, and I'm making such massive progress that I'm already starting to feel, okay, whenever I reach my first goal, I'm probably going to feel the same. I'm going to be like, all right, now what? I'm a little bit scared to reach that point. I'm a little bit scared to reach that point. A little bit. That's a good question, Paul. The difference between knowledge and experience. That's a good question. I kind of think that those two words you take it at face value, you know? I think you take those at face value, you know? It's kind of like when you go to driver's ed. When you go to driver's ed, and you're sitting in the classroom and they're teaching you all the rules of the road, and this, that, and the third. And man, you think you got it. Yeah, I know how to drive a car. And then you hop in the driver's seat and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. I know that's an analogy, but that's the best analogy I can think of, the difference between knowledge and experience, driver's ed. Just think of driver's ed. That's the way it goes, man. That's the way it goes. And I was always one of those people my whole life that I'll never listen to anything you have to say. I got to experience it. I got to experience it. I got to experience it. That's just one of them things, man. That's just one of them things. And my personal opinion, and I'm very strict on what my opinion is and what it is not. One thing it is my opinion is that the difference between, it's not really, you don't have true knowledge until you have experience. That's my personal opinion. That's my personal opinion. You don't know until you experience it. That's my opinion. Knowledge and experience are one and the same. You may think you know something, but until you experience it, you're not 100% sure whether you knew that or not. Make sense? That's the way I feel about it. That's the way I feel about it. That's the way I feel about it. I can like I can say, okay, I can teach you something, and you might think you know it. You might think you have knowledge, but then whenever you get put in that position to actually experience it, it's a toss-up. Was that real knowledge? Or was that just an idea you had in your mind that you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I think you understand what I'm talking about. I think knowledge and experience are one and the same. It's one and the same, but people get their imagination confused for knowledge. It's a good question. I'll be thinking about that. Mm-hmm. I'll definitely be thinking about that. Yeah. Hey, that'd be an experience, though. That's the thing that we all come here for, though. That's the thing that we all come here for. Maybe your higher self really, truly wanted to experience jumping off of a 20-floor building. Maybe. That would be your soul would experience that. Mm-hmm. The ego wouldn't. The ego wouldn't. The ego wouldn't. But your soul at your source, that's what we come here for, is for experience. Come here for experience. So anyway, the trees and plants, nothing happened to them, Missy. They're still thriving, doing good. I got my bonsai over there. My favorite bonsai, which is my juniper up there. It got spider mites. So I had to kill those. I had to spray it with alcohol, and it turned some of the leaves brown. So and it didn't kill the plant though. It didn't kill the plant, but it fucked it up pretty good. And it's getting better though. It's getting better. I got that one on a grow light. But anyway. And I got my cacti. Y'all know. Come on now. Nothing happened to them. I still got my good luck charm here. This one here came straight from Greece. This weird little dude right here. These are cool. When these grow up and get bigger, these are super cool. You get little arms growing off of them. They're badass. But anyway, nothing happened to them. Oh. Anyway, though. Yeah, spider mites are a fucking... Oh, dish soap? Oh, well, I used alcohol on mine. Diluted. I diluted an alcohol, rubbing alcohol and water mixture. And it worked. It killed them little shits. It killed them. It didn't hurt the plant. It didn't hurt the juniper. It didn't hurt it. But anyway. How do I think most people get to a place of awareness? It's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice. I personally don't feel like there's anybody who awakens and gets to a place of awareness without going through stress. hmm Without going through stress. That's one of the reasons why we come here and experience it like this, because you don't evolve when you're comfortable. You don't evolve when you're comfortable, you know? Now, it really depends on at what point are you willing to surrender, for lack of a better phrase? At what point? Because what most people are doing is they are trying so hard to do it their way. They're trying so hard to defend their own belief systems, and they're trying so hard to defend. So, at what point, when they're under so much pressure and so much stress, that they give up, that they give up, you know, that's at what point, most people. I don't think it has to happen that way. It's just that your average person, what incentive do you have to evolve when everything is going just fine? I mean, we could all improve our life, but most people, if you're comfortable, you don't really have any incentive to evolve. So you'll be put under pressure and stress and pressure and stress. And then whenever that pressure and stress gets so great that you just surrender, I think that's when most people get to a point of awareness. Most people, I think. I think. But one of the things that I really want to help people understand is that you don't have to do it that way. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. That's what I did, though. That's what I did. And for anybody out there, I would highly recommend that you don't do it like I did. I would highly recommend. I was just really, really stubborn, really, really stubborn. And I fought the universe for so many years, you know. But yeah, that's what I think. When you're comfortable, you're not nothing. When you're comfortable, you're comfortable. And that's the thing. One of the things that I've realized that one of the real hard next level challenges on the path is, okay, you go through this awakening, which is not fucking fun. It's not fun. You begin awakening, you begin tuning in to who you really are and awakening to your true power, and you start using that true power and you start transforming your life. Okay. Some people don't get that far. There's a lot of people who just spin around in circles, but I'm talking specifically about the people who really truly awaken and really truly start changing their life. Okay. Then you get to a point where you create comfort for yourself. Then what? Then what? Then you'll plateau. Then you'll hit a plateau period. That's been one of the things over, I would really say, one of the biggest things over the past year that I've been going through. Because I got to a point where I manifested comfort. I manifested comfort and abundance, and you learn real quick, you don't ever want to be comfortable. Not in this dimension. I don't know what it's going to be like the further we get into 4D and 5D. I don't know. I've never experienced 4D, 5D Earth. Nobody has, because it's never happened before. But I know at least where we are here, you don't ever want to be comfortable. You don't ever want to be comfortable. So finding that next challenge, finding that next challenge, learning how to challenge yourself, which is so far what I've been doing with fitness, finding that challenge, putting yourself through the stress, and you choose to do it. When you manifest that life that you live on your own terms, one of your responsibilities, at least here in human form, is to challenge yourself, and then the more you actually agree to go through your challenges on your own terms, then the universe doesn't really throw quite so many challenges at you, unless it's something that you just really need. You know what I mean? But for the most part, taking control of your life, living your life on your own terms, and experiencing your own challenges on your own terms, because that's part of this existence. That's part of evolution, is challenges and struggles. But it's hard to explain. Does that make sense, though? See what I'm saying? Because there will always be challenges. There will always be obstacles. There will always be challenges and obstacles. Always, period. That will never go away. You will never, ever escape that. You will never escape challenges and obstacles, no matter what you do. Okay? So, yeah, eventually getting to the point to where you choose your challenges. You know what I mean? Makes sense. Relationship teachings. Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. That's one of the biggest things that I do is I don't like it how people make things look so wonderful or sound so wonderful. You know. Now, if it looks wonderful, I don't know what to tell you about that. I don't know what to tell you. You perceive it however you perceive it. I'm not responsible for how you perceive it, but at least going through the energetic teachings, and learning how to get on that frequency to attract your actual life partner, then yeah, you will get to a point in your life eventually where it is, as close to wonderful as you could ever imagine. You know, that's the thing. That's the thing. My main the main thing that I'm here to help people understand how to do is learn what your frequency is. Like I was saying in that last video, manifestation means result. That's all manifestation means is result. Okay? The result of your frequency. So, what is my frequency right now? And how is that creating my reality? Because my reality is a result of my frequency, you know? So, the first thing we have to do is learn our frequency. I have to learn what my frequency is doing first, and then I have to learn how to change my frequency. And as a result of that, things will manifest, you know? As a result of that, different things will manifest into my life. Now, the reason that well, it wasn't my plan to, I didn't set out to teach relationship teachings. That the universe just kind of handed me that. I didn't plan for that. The only thing that I ever set out to learn how to manifest was money. And then I began learning that it all manifests the same way. Everything does. Everything does. Everything manifests the same way on the same base set of principles. But yeah. So basically, the position that I'm in right now is I would really like to help you understand, among many things, how relationships are attracted into your life or pushed out of your life, and the energetic process that makes that all happen, you know. But again, it's everything. It's not just relationships, it's your money, it's the connections that you have with your friends and family, it's the type of job that you work, it's every little facet and every aspect of your life in total. Again, I don't know why the universe put me in the position to be able to do relationship teachings. Um, but here's the thing. Once you figure out how one thing manifests, you start figuring out how everything else manifests. Those are just the two energies that we struggle with the most is earth and water, love and money, or in the tarot, pentacles and cups. But you'll see whoever asked that question, you'll see once you figure out how to manifest one thing, you'll start seeing that everything manifests the same way. Everything. Yep. Everything. And as far as it looking wonderful, I don't know. It's not supposed to look wonderful or bad or whatever, but the process isn't wonderful. Oh, hell no. The process of learning your frequency and changing your frequency and getting on the path and walking the path is not wonderful. As a matter of fact, 99% of the time, it's very lonely. Very lonely. Very, very lonely. But that's the whole point. Because that when it comes to love and relationships, we're all after the same thing. To not be lonely. That's what we're all after. None of us want to be lonely. None of us want to be lonely. We want to be happy, whole, fulfilled, and complete, worthy, and all these things. But we've just been programmed for so many decades through music, movies, TV, and media to believe that a relationship is what we need in order to make that happen. And in actuality, this dimension is not set up to run and operate like that at all. It's quite the opposite. Okay? Because those feelings of loneliness that we have, our feelings are what manifest our experiences. See what I'm saying? Our experience is not going to change our feeling. My feelings is what manifests my experience. See what I'm saying? So we have to go in there and we have to figure out how to get on that frequency ourselves. Because if I feel lonely, that's my choice. That's my choice. Loneliness is a choice. Emptiness is a choice. Nothing out here is going to fix that. This out here is a result of that. If I feel lonely and empty, I'm going to manifest things that resonate harmoniously with loneliness and emptiness. So it's like you turn into a dog chasing your tail. I have this empty, lonely void that's in my heart, and I need a lover to fill this empty void. So I get my hands on a love relationship, but in actuality, the only thing that person can do is mirror this empty void right back to me. This is how we get into all these relationships with people who are emotionally unavailable, or people who just really aren't interested, or people who cheat on you, because that loneliness and emptiness manifests between the two of you as a unit. you know? So we're like a dog chasing our tail. I want a love relationship to fill this void, but when I get my hands on one, I'm just chasing my tail because they can't fill that void for me. And it's everything. It's not just relationships. Money is the same way. Money is the exact same way. Money will not fill that void in your heart. No, it won't. No, it will not. It will not. My main baseline frequency is worrying and being stressed out about my finances, and $1 million gets dumped on me, that frequency is going to take that $1 million and manifest financial stress and debt that I can't even fathom. It's not money that I want. I have to figure out how to go inside and do the energy work to change my frequency first, regardless of what's happening out here. The most persistent, believable illusion of this entire life is that your world controls your feelings. That's the most persistent illusion in this entire reality, is that my outside world is in control of my feelings. That I feel this way because this thing happened. That is so persistent, so persistent, so persistent, and getting out of that trap is tricky. It's tricky, 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 tricky. I'm not one of those people that's going to try to make you think it's easy. No, it's not easy. Like I've said, the manifestation process and the truth about how energy flows and behaves is super fucking simple. But getting our thoughts unwired and out of the way is the hard part. That's the hard part. That's the hard part. How do I get out of this illusion that I'm stressed out about money because I don't make much? You're not stressed out about money because you don't make much. You don't make much because you're constantly stressed out about your money. That's the way it really works. That's the way it really works. If I'm lonely, empty, and insecure, and that's my frequency, and you bring me the perfect lover, they're not going to fix that problem. They're going to make me feel 10 times more insecure than I could have ever imagined feeling. And I'm going to sabotage that relationship with my insecurities and end up right back where I was to begin with. I'm going to manifest something that resonates with loneliness, emptiness, and insecurity with that frequency. This is the hard part. The hard part is shutting out what's going on out here. I don't care what's going on out here. I don't care how much money I have in the bank or whether or not somebody loves me. I don't care what's going on out here. I'm in control of what happens in here. I do this. I'm in control of my feelings and my frequency. Even if I don't have any money in the bank, worrying about your money is a choice. It's a choice. I don't care how much money is in my bank. I decide whether or not I worry about it. This is the key. I don't have very much money in the bank. My rent's due, and I might not get my rent paid on time. Okay. Whether or not I worry about that is a choice. Worrying is not going to fix your problem. It's not going to fix your problem. My rent will get paid. My rent will get paid. I'm not going to drive myself fucking crazy over it. When I need the money, it will be there. I'm not going to go homeless. I will not end up on the streets. I'm not going to go hungry. Me worrying about that is a choice. Same thing with your love and relationships, but I keep getting lied to and cheated on, and nobody loves me and nobody's interested in me, and I'm so lonely and alone. That feeling is a choice. I am happy and content with myself and my life, whether somebody comes along and loves me or not. That's my decision. That's my decision. If I'm lonely and unhappy, that's not your fault. That's not your job. You can't fix that. You can't fix that. And that's not your decision. That's if there's somebody in my life that does care enough about how I feel, that they want to try to help me feel better, and they want to try to assist my feelings and my emotions. That's a privilege. That's a bonus. I'm thankful. That's a privilege. But that's not their job. That's not their responsibility. Whether or not I'm lonely and empty, that's my choice. I choose whether or not I feel that way. Has nothing to do with what's going on out here. That is the key. That is the decades and decades and decades and decades of programming and brainwashing that we have to unwire. Not something you can do overnight. Okay? But it is possible. It is possible. I promise you. Just because it's difficult doesn't mean that it's impossible. Anyway, on that note, y'all, it is time for me to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank y'all so much again for tuning in and listening to me run my mouth. My plan, I would like to be able to get a lot of shit done on my main channel today. A bunch of the December readings that I had done and the weekly forecast. So if I have any control of it, I'll get like 4 or 5 videos done today. But I never really know what my day is going to bring. Either way, though, thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you later on my main channel. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.